Hey, how's it going? My name's Jay Clark, and if you're watching this video, then most likely you have already received a remote presenter kit. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to set up the included lapel microphone, just like the one I'm wearing and using right now.
You should have the following items: the Shure 185 lapel mic with windscreen, the Shure X2U USB audio interface with USB cable, the Shure inline preamp with belt clip, and a 25-foot XLR cable to be used as needed.
Next, I'm going to show you how to hook all of these things up, and we're going to start with the USB audio interface. First, you're going to want to take the provided USB cable and plug it into the USB port on the provided laptop. If you were provided with a MacBook, there's a good chance that there's not a standard USB port on that, and for that reason, you're going to need a USB-C dongle. Now, once your USB cable is plugged in, you're going to take the other end of that USB cable and you're going to plug it into your USB audio device. Some lights are going to pop up. That's a good thing. Now, first I want you to make sure that your phantom power button is shut off and your gain knob is rolled all the way down. Now we're going to eventually turn the 48 phantom power back on and roll the gain up, but to start, have that 48 phantom power off and have your gain knob rolled all the way down. Based on the computer you're using, there's going to be a couple different ways to configure this, and I'm also going to show you that now.
If you received a Windows-based PC laptop, then the first thing you're going to want to do is go into your system settings and click on System in the top left. Next, you're going to want to click the Sound button right below Display. Once you are in this menu, you want to make sure that the selected input is Shure Digital. If you're using a MacBook, you can use the simple shortcut Option plus any volume key to bring up your audio preferences. Once here, you want to go to the Input tab and make sure that Shure Digital is selected.
Cool. Now that our USB device is hooked up, the next step is hooking up our microphone. So, are you just doing a simple rehearsal? Are you sitting right next to your laptop? If you are, then you can simply plug the inline preamp straight into the USB device, plug your mic in there, and it's just a quick run and gun way of getting it done. I don't recommend doing that, but if you're in a hurry and it's kind of an informal thing, then you could definitely get away with that. Now, to make things a little more serious, this is a real show, you are on camera, we're going to dive in a little deeper. You're going to want to plug in the XLR cable to your USB device. The other end of that XLR cable you're going to want to plug into the inline preamp. And then, if you do have a belt line, if you're a lady with a dress, you might have to be a little bit creative where you place it, but you could place the inline preamp on your hip. And then from there, we're going to feed the microphone down our shirt. I'm going to give you a couple examples of mic placement. I could speak all day long with various techniques and proper things, but I want you to not be overwhelmed and just concentrate on your show and your content. So just a couple things in mind. You want the microphone always aiming up towards the mouth. You don't want it cocked to the side, aiming out over here. You don't want it aiming at something else that is loud. Maybe there's a loud light or a piece of equipment in the room. You want it really directed at the person's face. You could take the microphone and make a little loop in it, which is going to naturally tug the microphone up. Try to avoid the microphone, again, shooting off to the side, things like that. You definitely want it aiming up towards your mouth, and you want your cables as clean as possible. Here's a couple examples of appropriate mic placement based on an array of attire.
In our first example, we have a woman with a deep-cut t-shirt. As you can see on the picture on the left, the microphone is aiming up towards her face. We want to avoid the right side where the microphone is aiming off into space. In this example, our subject is wearing a blazer. So blazers, sport coats, suit tops, you can all kind of clip to the lapel as long as the mic is aiming up towards your face. And this is once again why it's called the lapel mic. In this example, we see a typical button-up shirt configuration where the picture on the left is aiming up and is correct, and the picture on the right is aiming down and incorrect. But the picture on the right, the cable from the microphone is closer to the clip, which is correct, and the picture on the left, the cable is away. I like to use the clip once again as a guide for the cable, so pay attention to that and try to loop the cable through the clip. That way it forces the microphone up towards your face. Now, I realize sometimes a woman's attire can be a bit more challenging than a man's, and this is a great example of how to tackle that. So the person applying this microphone chose to go to the inside blouse, which is the right move, because the outside piece of garment probably swings around and then directs the microphone at other places that we wouldn't like. So once again, try to keep the microphone midline. You can pinch a bit of fabric, which is what this person is doing on the blouse, in order to secure the microphone. And then once again, remember to shoot the cable straight down the top of the shirt. That way, if the cable does tug, the microphone continues to aim up at the subject.
Okay, so you have your computer settings set up, you have your microphone on. The next thing is to go back to your USB device, and we're going to do a couple configurations. I know it seems like a lot, it's not. Trust me, after a while you're going to be a pro and you're going to be able to knock this out quick. So, looking at the USB device, we're now going to turn on the phantom power button, the 48 volt phantom power button. You're going to press this, a blue light's going to pop on. That's going to let you know phantom power is on. Now we're going to go up to the gain knob and we're going to slowly start pushing this knob up while talking into our mic, and we're going to slowly talk louder and louder and louder until we see a yellow light appear. Once we see a yellow light appear, we're going to back it off just a little bit. If you ever listen to yourself back and you feel like you're a bit too crunchy or distorted, back the gain off on the USB device. You want to avoid at all costs going into the red, which is clipping. That's just going to make your voice extremely crunchy and sound pretty terrible to your audience. Once again, just kind of get it up to the yellow, back it off a little bit, you're going to be fine. Are you using Zoom at all? There's a couple things we have to do in Zoom just to make sure your microphone's working the way it should be.
So you have started Zoom. You want to make sure that your audio coming out of your laptop is coming out of the speakers on your laptop, and the microphone you're using is Shure Digital. You're going to want to click on the little microphone button on the bottom left, and you're going to bring up some preferences. Make sure that the selected microphone is Shure Digital. Once you start talking, you should see the little microphone in the bottom left lighting up, turning green. You can also click your Zoom preferences and click on the audio tab. Make sure that the microphone selected is the Shure Digital, and then from here we can make sure our input level is appropriate. We want green all the way up about 75-80% here.
And that's about it. Again, I know it seems like a lot, but it's really not. After a while, you're going to be a complete pro at this, and all of these steps are going to be consolidated into a 2-minute process. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and have a great day.